This program on investing under regulation crowdfunding is not investment advice.
Rising with the crowd, power unbound, change makers lead where hope is found. Superpowers for good, shaping the fate. Investors and dreamers open the gate. Supercross stands loud, proud and true, building tomorrow for me and you.
Welcome to the Superpowers for Good show from the Super Crowd. I'm Devin Thorpe, your host, and I want to welcome everyone to the show, but especially our first-timers. We see in our data, it's so exciting to see the audience is growing week after week, and I want to welcome you who are here for the first time. I encourage you to watch the entire episode to see if this is something you want to join us for every Tuesday and Thursday as we stream these new episodes. But we always have an inspiring change maker on the show, often people who are raising capital from the crowd, giving you an opportunity to profit from making a difference in the world. So stick around. You don't want to miss this. Today, I'm excited to introduce you to George Cook. He's the CEO and founder of Honeycomb Credit, an SEC-registered FINRA member crowdfunding portal that recently made a very strategic acquisition. We'll be talking to George about that. George, welcome to the show. We're thrilled to have you.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here, Devin.
Well, the privilege is all ours, and I appreciate you making time for us. Let's step back just a little bit for the benefit of all our audience. Why don't you describe for us what Honeycomb Credit is so that everyone is aware, and let's remember those first-time viewers as you answer that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Honeycomb is a crowdfunding website where anyone can invest in entrepreneurs and businesses and communities they care about. We like to call ourselves a community capital website. So we allow entrepreneurs who are growing, who are taking that next step in their business, to come to Honeycomb. They go through a diligence process. We review the businesses. We then invite them onto our platform, and then we help them activate their customers and fans and community members and friendly strangers on the internet who want to support businesses like theirs. Anyone can invest for as little as $100 and earn a competitive return while supporting businesses that they care about.
That is such a brilliant model. And I heard a really inspiring story today, George. And I know in a way this isn't the story you want to hear, but I've made a number of investments on Honeycomb Credit, and people always pay me back. I've never had a late payment yet that I know of. And I heard today from another investor who had experienced someone who got into trouble, was looking to restructure the payment plan. And this investor was so thrilled with the way that you and the issuer worked together to address that, propose a workout solution to get everybody paid back in full, just with a little more patience. And the process for approving that restructuring was really easy. It's inspiring because oftentimes banks don't have a process for that. And so, someone might get a better deal, might be able to borrow money at 2 or 3% lower money from a bank, but they're never going to get that kind of flexibility. How do you think about the role of Honeycomb Credit in this broader context of building healthy communities?
Yeah, I think, and Devin, I know we've talked about, but the viewers probably aren't familiar. My background is in community banking. So my family has run a small community bank in rural Appalachia for 130 years. And I grew up in the family business, and I fell in love with working with entrepreneurs. And I think that the thing I really took away from community banking is that small businesses are more than just a number, right? They're more than just their books. The financials are important, and it's really critical to understand the financial health of a business and their path going forward. But more important to that, or equally important to that, is, do they make a good product? Do they treat their customers well? Do they treat their employees well? Because those qualitative values are really a very strong indicator of whether a business owner has staying power in their local community. And I think that's what we've always tried to really empower businesses to bring that whole picture into the underwriting decision. Like, yes, we're going to vet the businesses, we're going to look at their financials before we invite them onto our platform. But then the local community members voting with their wallets are bringing that qualitative data back into the fold and really giving a signal of which businesses they believe in and believe are going to continue to contribute to their local communities. And that's so powerful. And to your point, our goal is to get businesses that are going to pay back, right? We want investors to earn a nice return on our platform. We want them to feel really good about putting money to work on our platform. But small businesses are risky, right? And sometimes not everything goes exactly to plan. And we take a lot of pride in how we approach that, where we have a very democratic approach to the process when a business runs into some trouble. And we allow those same investors and community members and fans to vote pro rata based on how much they invested on whether to adjust the terms of the deal or to pursue collections, and really empower them to have a voice in this process. And what we find is when business owners are open and communicative and really engage with their customers and investors, they can come together and find a solution that stabilizes the business, gets them back on their feet, and is a better outcome for both the business owners and for the investors. And that's really special to me, that we can have this totally new reorientation about how we think about collections, right? It doesn't need to be this dirty word. It doesn't need to be this adversarial relationship. Rather, we can make that collaborative and really community oriented.
Every Monday at the Superpowers for Good, we publish a list of all of the impact deals, the impact crowdfunding offerings. And, there are some big portals in the space that get a lot of attention, that have a lot of offerings. And I was really excited a couple of weeks back when Honeycomb Credit showed up as the portal with the most impact offerings. And I would point out that this wasn't a shock, because you've sort of been creeping up the league tables for a long time. I see you celebrating not only the impact of social enterprises and their role in building healthy communities, but also in identifying the diversity of your issuers, your entrepreneurs. And I see the tremendous impact from just backing diverse founders, right? I try to be deliberate and coach people to be deliberate about investing in diverse founders. I wonder if you would just take a minute and talk about what it is about community building, what it is about supporting diverse founders, what it is about social enterprise that inspires you. Why was that important to build into the DNA of Honeycomb?
Yeah, I think, and going back to my community banking days again, entrepreneurs are just the most inspiring group of people you can surround yourself with, right? They are so optimistic. They are so driven, and being able to play just a small piece and a tiny little role in their success story is one of the greatest feelings you can possibly have. And at this point at Honeycomb, we've worked with over 500 businesses. We're rapidly approaching $50 million deployed on the platform. We've repaid from the loans more than $10 million to investors. And every day those numbers are ticking up. But to your point, Devin, it's not just supporting entrepreneurs. It's entrepreneurs of every background you can possibly imagine. When we look at minority-owned, low to moderate income communities, women-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses, and we take that diverse group of businesses, it's something like 80% or more of the businesses on our platform are represented in those groups. And that just tells me that the traditional funding landscape has chronically underserved a really important and large group of business owners. And to know that Honeycomb is playing a tiny little role to help level that playing field and get capital flowing to communities that large lenders aren't, is really rewarding.
Yeah, it really is inspiring what you're doing, and like I say, it's evident that this is sort of baked into the DNA of Honeycomb, and I commend you. And one of the implications of that is this very strategic acquisition you've made, right? To acquire Raise Green, which was a climate-focused crowdfunding portal. Tell us about the decision and the process of acquiring Raise Green.
Yeah, so in early December, Honeycomb acquired Raise Green. Raise Green, as you mentioned, was the kind of premier climate-focused regulation crowdfunding investment platform for green and environmental projects. We have known the Raise Green team for a couple of years. Jackie Logan, their president, co-founder, and the rest of the team, we've gotten to know them and really appreciate their work. A couple of times we did some cross collaborations and promotions with them. We would champion and celebrate and advertise the Raise Green platform to our investors on Earth Day. They would advertise the Honeycomb platform to their investors on Small Business Saturday. So there's always been a ton of respect across the organizations and just really deep value alignment. And as we built that relationship over the years and really got to know each other and understand the joint vision of what we were trying to create, we were able to formalize that and bring Raise Green into the Honeycomb family. And to me, really, the vision there is, I think this notion of being an impact investor can be kind of a scary thing, right? Impact investing is what rich people do. I'm not an impact investor. I can't afford to be an impact investor, right? It can feel like this intimidating world. And we're trying to create an environment where anyone, for as little as $100, can be an impact investor. Whether that's investing in an entrepreneur or a small business or a community that's important to you, whether that's investing in climate-related projects, we're really trying to get everyone to think about how they can align their own investing to their own values, and really just open the door for anyone to become an impact investor.
That's kind of the secret sauce. You have figured it out, right? You have created a way for all of us to be impact investors, and it is so exciting. And one of the great things about your portal is you've got so many offerings on there. It's like this, it's kid in a candy store problem, right? An impact investor like me can go on there and spend an hour looking at all of the different opportunities and pick the one I love the most today. And I can come back next week and do it again. It's fantastic. So we got to take a quick break here, George, but I'm here, folks, today with George Cook. He is the CEO and founder of Honeycomb Credit, and a great human being to boot. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to George about his superpower. You don't want to miss this, so stick around.
Download a free copy of How to Make Money with Impact Crowdfunding, the book Sarah Hanks describes as
a fantastic overview, not just of crowdfunding investing, but of investing in general.
Andrew Savickas raved,
"This book offers unparalleled insights for anyone looking to make a difference."
Scan the QR code to get your copy.
Ready to take your small business to the next level? Honeycomb Credit empowers diverse entrepreneurs by connecting you with community-driven funding. Build customer relationships, amplify your brand, and grow with those who believe in you. Honeycomb Credit, where your community invests in you.
Scan the QR code to start today.
Join the Impact Crowdfunding movement. Get Superpowers for Good, your free daily newsletter with exclusive video replays, a podcast, and the latest investment opportunities open to everyone. Join the super crowd. Scan now so you can learn to make money while you make a difference.
Welcome back to the Superpowers for Good show from the Super Crowd. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, and we're here today with George Cook, the CEO and founder of Honeycomb Credit, one of the large and most successful, certainly among the most impactful impact crowdfunding portals on the planet, certainly in the United States. We're excited to have him here on the show. We're going to shift gears a little bit now to talk to George about his superpower, so stick around. George, we've been thrilled to have this conversation. I could talk to you all day about impact crowdfunding. It's my favorite topic, period, end of story. But I want to talk to you about your superpower. You've accomplished a lot in your career. You've had a lot of success, and Honeycomb Credit is really becoming very quickly one of the top leading crowdfunding portals on the planet, and arguably now the top portal for impact. This is a really important accomplishment. What is your superpower?
Yeah, Devin, I think one of the things I take a lot of pride in is just being able to lead with a steady hand. I think the world of entrepreneurship, as you know as well as anyone, it's a truly emotional sport, right? People talk about entrepreneurship as a roller coaster. And I always thought that meant like, oh, you're going to have a really good month and you're going to have a bad month and there's going to be ups and downs. I didn't appreciate that it meant you're going to have the best call you've ever had in the morning, and then you're having an existential threat in the afternoon, right? It's this constant whiplash, this ups and downs. And it's a lot to process. And I think as the leader of my startup with a team of over 20 now, but also working with our customers who are all entrepreneurs, who are all on this roller coaster of their own, my ability to be a moderating force and when things get tough, to be able to take a couple of deep breaths and lift the team up. And when things are going really well, to stay humble and grounded and grateful for those successes, but not getting too carried away with them. So I think, that's one thing I've been really proud of being able to cultivate over the years, is just having that steady hand and being a reliable, stabilizing force in my organization, but also externally for our customers as well.
I think this is really an important skill, a great superpower, because especially for an entrepreneur. But let's be real, that ability to sort of cope with challenges is not unique, or it's not a unique value to entrepreneurs. Maybe a little bit, but everybody has challenges, right? And so we all want to learn how to do it. I wonder if you can think of an experience, a time that sort of typifies your ability to lead with that steady hand through a challenge. Can you think of an example that you could share?
Oh gosh, so many, right? I think we're constantly experimenting and running changes. We're a startup at Honeycomb, right? And so we're constantly testing our model, trying to make improvements, trying to build a better company. We just brought Raise Green into the Honeycomb platform. So there's a lot of changes swirling around in our platform at any given time within the company and on the site. That can feel really overwhelming for a lot of employees and for a lot of customers, right? And so I think one of my mentors told me that if you repeat yourself so many times that you're starting to get sick of saying the same thing over and over again, that's when the team is starting to hear and understand you. right? So with all of these changes, with the Raise Green acquisition and a bunch of other changes going on in the Honeycomb company kind of in early 2025 here, I always reminded myself of that. Like, I've been thinking about something a lot. I've been noodling on and communicating something many, many times, but the team may have only been hearing this for the first time or the second time, or they haven't fully internalized or processed it yet. And so just reminding myself to meet people where they're at, and to make sure to constantly reiterate these points over and over and over again, and not get frustrated with people because they haven't had the luxury of being able to think about something and process it as deeply as I have. And so I think that's kind of one example of, a time of a lot of change, especially with Raise Green being acquired, just kind of calmly repeating myself and making sure everyone on the team is hearing something over and over and over again, so they really have the time to internalize it and act appropriately.
That's a great example. I really appreciate you sharing that. It's, as you think about this ability, I wonder if you could give us some tips to guide us so we can develop more of that steady hand ourselves. What would you do to guide us in that direction?
I think one of the most critical things is really staying focused on the task at hand. And it can be so hard, right? We all have a to-do list of a million things long. And we all feel that sensation. You're on one Zoom meeting and you're already thinking about the next one. You're already worried about the thing that's coming up next. And just really trying to stay in the moment you're in. And one little thing I love to do is every time I join a Google Meet or a Zoom, I'm joining my next meeting, I just quietly to myself close my eyes and take 3 deep breaths and just ground myself and center myself on the meeting I am about to enter, so that I can be present, I can be there with the people in this meeting and be solving this one challenge right now. And then after the meeting, I can move on to the next thing and solve the next challenge. But if we're constantly trying to get ahead of ourselves and solving the next problem, we're not giving ourselves the grace to really be in the moment and solve the thing at hand. And so the work is just going to pile up if we do that.
That's a great point. For me, the challenge is always agonizing over the last problem and trying to set that aside. But I see the same process, that 3 deep breaths would address my tendency to worry about the last problem instead of the next problem, and focus on this situation. So that's great. Great tips. George, as we wrap up here now, I wonder if you'd take a minute or two and tell people how they can learn more about Honeycomb Credit. Remembering we've got some new people in this audience. Tell people how to sign up and make a first investment on Honeycomb Credit, and tell people how to connect with you. I know you're a big deal. You don't have time to necessarily talk to everybody, but what's your protocol? What's your process? How do people connect with Honeycomb, and how do people follow you on social media? That sort of thing. Take a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. So honeycombcredit.com is our website. So if you're an entrepreneur thinking about capital, if you're someone who's looking for impact investments, please do check out honeycombcredit.com. We're on all of the major socials at Honeycomb Credit. For me, George Cook at Honeycomb, you can find me on LinkedIn. That's where I'm most active. So feel free to like and follow me there, and happy to engage on LinkedIn. And yeah, constantly check back on the Honeycomb site. As Devin alluded to, we're launching new offerings almost every single day. So the new entrepreneurs are constantly popping onto the site, and always new fun projects to engage with.
Well, this is exciting, and you've got just such an inspiring array of offerings every time I check. And so diverse, so different from one another, both in terms of the business model, and the people, and the place. It used to be a little bit more true that there was a little concentration in the Pennsylvania area, there where you're based. But now I see your deals popping up all over the country. It's great to see. Have there been any states you've missed yet? Still, have there been any zero offering states left?
Well, we have done successful offerings in 40 different states, and so the team has a little bet going on who's going to be the last state.
Yeah.
And we have one launching in New Hampshire here in a little bit, so hopefully 41 states soon. But yeah, so we're a couple states. Alaska is still out there, so if you know any entrepreneurs in Alaska, reach out.
All righty. Well, George, we thank you for being here, and we want to wish you every success with the great work that you're doing.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me, Devin.
All righty. Let's do some good.